If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. The Think Generational Wealth Podcast with your host, Amir Estimo. So I've been studying about habits, and I've actually taken starting to take a very good understanding of habits and how habits determines your future. Your habits determine who you are, who you become, and where you get to in life. So I've been reading about this book lately called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And there's a quote he talked about in the book. If you have a Kindle version, it's page 188. If you haven't read this book, highly suggest this book. It's a very good book. It has actionable steps in it. Go get a chance, read it on Kindle, buy it on Amazon, wherever you're at, but highly recommend. Because I think habits really are important on how where you go in life. People think it's, all this knowledge that you have. Yeah, that's great. But if you don't have the habits around all that knowledge, then you won't get to where you need to get to. So for me, starting this podcast, Think Generational Wealth, I realize it's going to take, I'm going to have to develop certain habits to grow this brand, because it's something I envision is to have a community of like-minded individuals where we are eradicating financial illiteracy, wherever you at in the world, not just here in the States, but we should all have an understanding how money works, wherever you are. It should be a understanding language of how money works. And it all starts with the habits and mindset. So in this book, he says, with our bad habits, the immediate outcome usually feels good, but the ultimate outcome feels bad. With good habits, it is the reverse. The immediate outcome is unenjoyable, but the ultimate outcome feels good. So when I started thinking about what he said here, we have to, you think about it, right? Let's talk about like health wise. So you come in 2020, today is February 7th. Can you believe February 7th of the new year of 2020? This is the roaring 20s, folks. But what he said was bad habits. So going back into health, let's say you want to lose weight, but losing weight, you have to be able to be disciplined. But let's say you enjoy that Starbucks coffee every morning, or you enjoy that Egg McMuffin and cheese every morning. You enjoy this big breakfast. It feels good now, but down the road, it does not. So when he says the bad habits, the immediate outcome feels good, because that is satisfying. You have that sandwich, you have that, or even let's say someone who's a smoker. You have that cigarette, you release that stress, it feels good. But down the road, where he says the outcome, but the ultimate outcome feels bad, is when you're dealing health issues, whether it's cancer, whether it's some type of form of cancer, or when we think in a sense, let's talk about a pack of cigarettes. Here in the States, I used to be a retail manager, so I know pack of cigarettes are $7. And you do that, let's just say $7. You do that 7 times a day, that's $49. Round that up to 50. In a month, you're spending $200. You're spending $200 a month. That's here in the States. Anywhere in the US, I'm not sure. But, it brings in perspective even in your finance. So having the bad habits, they feel good. Even for me, I have bad habits myself. Trust me. I mean, I've been dealing with trying to get to the gym, be more consistent, eat better. I consume mad carbs. But I know if it's something I don't take care of now, down the road, I'm going to pay for it health wise. And the object of life is to live as long as you can, because we never know at any given moment when all this will end. So then he talks about with good habits, it's the reverse. The immediate outcome is unenjoyable. Now you think of someone who's an entrepreneur who builds a big business. They may have suffered a lot. They probably didn't take any vacation, worked tirelessly because they had a dream that they wanted to breathe into existence, into reality. While others probably were out there partying, they were working on their dreams. They didn't go out to the club. They didn't go out to the bar. They didn't go and spend money unnecessarily. Lived frugal. And now they get to enjoy our success. And it's crazy, think about it from a Black perspective. Me as a Black man, in our communities, when we have people who are successful, I heard this line, and it's so true in this rap song, is that instead of us asking them how did they get to that point, done it legitimately, we are planning robberies instead. So you think about it, instead of you asking that person that knowledge, hey, how did you get to where you are right now? We'd rather rob them. We'd rather hate on them. And we didn't see all the other things. We just see everything below the surface. I mean, above surface, but we don't see everything below surface, staying up late at night. I mean, I remember Dr. Dre said when he was recording The Chronic, he said he was up 3 nights in a row. And that's probably one of the hip hop's greatest albums. We just see his success, but we don't see the hard work that was put in. And that's why good habits, they tend to be boring. And I realized for me, if I'm going to develop the habits I need to, I feel like this podcast will help me, push me, because I do have fears that I'm dealing with day in and day out. I started this new business venture. One minute I'm doing this, one minute I'm doing that, but now I have to say, I have to settle down and say, what? I got to settle down and go. I'm going to fail, but it's okay to fail. I have a W-2 job right now, so I'm not going to act like I don't. But I know that's not the long-term goal. That's only short-term. And as you think about these habits, our good and bad habits, think for a moment for you. What is it that you should do, but it's because it's a good habit. It's a bad habit that you put it off. You'd rather enjoy the moment now, but then not realize later on that's when it's not going to feel good. What about generational wealth? How much education are you doing? Even for me, I have to ask myself that question: how much educating I'm doing? Because you gotta now not only go out there and do it, but you gotta be educated, and you can't be afraid to fail. So I leave you with that. Just just think for a moment about the habits that you are creating and where is it going to take you. So I leave you with that. And I just have an announcement. My goal now is to probably start doing the podcast more on a weekly basis, just for temporarily because of the fact that um, me starting with having family and W-2 job, and on top of that, the new business that I'm working on, my real estate investing business, then I want to be able to allocate as much time as possible. But feel free, email me. And also, too, I want to be able to start bringing some guests on here. These guests will be people in the local area here in the Texas area, the Dallas Fort Worth area. And we're just going to, just be able to talk and have them be able to share their understanding and what generational wealth means to them. And, so be on the lookout for that. But other than that, folks, what everybody should be thinking, generational wealth.